Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance, where you'll find your favorite conversations about Metal Gear and Kojima-related content delivered to you through tactical podcast action. I'm your host, Warren Minix, and with me, as always, are my favorite two members of the Cobra Unit that aren't covered in bees. Mr. Chris Hampton, how we doing?
You know, I'm shaking. I got tactical engravings.
I wouldn't say that they have any sort of advantage, though. And then, of course, our brother from another mother, our sister from another mister, Miss Dory Cortez. How we doing?
Out of witty ideas to open episodes with already.
We're in episode 3.
Let me just say, Warren slid in here on silk, and Tori and I were just I dum wipe hands with own poo poo.
Shit, man. Great, doing great, Warren. How are you?
I'm going to be honest. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, guys.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so fine.
Before we get started, is there anything we would like to just sort of sweep out from under the rug? Maybe do a little vacuuming, a little housekeeping. Is there anything we want to tackle before we start letting everybody know where we're going to talk today?
I got one thing, or actually, there's some things, yeah, duh. But I got something other than the elephant in the room.
Got it.
So I want to give a big shout out to Matt, our audio editor.
Sure.
I'm sure everyone knows times in COVID are tough, but Matt's been there for us, taking on this work, and his band is putting out a new album. They have a single. They're called Pale Lungs. You should check them out on Spotify.
Yeah, they're really good.
I heard that single, and I really, really liked it, and I want to hear more.
Yeah, it was hype.
I was just going to say, yeah, if you check it out, definitely check this out on Spotify and see what else is going on with it.
We'll pop the link on one of our social feeds or something so you can find it.
Definitely. What else we got? Anything else? Gonna get it out?
Well.
So Cole is not going to be with us as a host. He's had some personal things come up that require his attention and his energy, and we want him to do that and be there for himself and know that we're here for him too. So he's not going to be on the show for right now, and Warren is graciously stepping in because I'm a big dumb poo-poo idiot and can't host because I don't know how word sometime. Yeah.
We're going to pull it out of you, man. I can't wait.
Also, he has a real cool microphone, so
He sure
Warren's
does.
a great fit.
Well, I appreciate you guys even thinking of me or asking me to be on, but I'm glad to help.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And Tori.
Yeah, I also have some business to take care of. On top of a new thing we talked about doing, which is to appreciate and recognize all you fine donors and patrons to the show. I wanted to give one extra special shout out to a recent patron, the third and final brother of my family. Evan Cortez and his wife Nicole are graciously contributing to the show. I'm pretty sure they've listened to an episode. So hopefully that continues. But even if not, thank you, brother and sister-in-law, for your support in all facets of life. It's appreciated.
That's cool.
And now, yeah, if you guys are ready, I don't know who wants to read off this name of the random patron we're about to give a shout out to. If you guys are ready for that bit.
Yeah, you can take it if you want it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
As our community manager, Tori.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay, that was actually me trying to mask the fact that I didn't have our spreadsheet up. Give me just a minute. So the idea is every, mainline episode, guys?
Yes.
We wanted to just appreciate all of you fine people who are helping to support us. And this is one of a few ways I think that we came up with that we would like to tackle that. So I have a physical cup here with names. I don't know if you can hear this. Anybody? Yeah.
I hear an emptiness.
Those are, oh, hold on.
There it is.
There's that ASMR paper
There
shuffle.
it is. MGM ASMR with Tori Cortez.
I don't know if I love that, but I'll go on with this anyway. As I was shuffling that, one name popped out, so I'm just going to pull that one. Adam Guard. Adam Guard, hopefully I'm saying your name right. That's funny.
Shouts out, Adam.
You're the first
Shouts out,
person
Adam.
listed on our spreadsheet too. Adam, as I'm pulling up another thing I should have had open already, has been a patron of the show for some time. A number that I will eventually...
It's a number between 0 and 1,000,000.
And however long the Patreon has been available.
Yeah. How long is that now?
The
Like
Patreon
4
is
years?
eternal. Adam has been a Patreon member for a very, very long time. Since 12 months, a year. This is
Yo.
a year.
A year.
Holy shit, Adam. This is not just coincidence.
Yes,
This is-
MGM birthdays for Patreon.
It is your MGM
amazing.
Patreon birthday.
Oh, snap.
And you get a
Happy
shout out.
Birthday, Adam Guard.
The cup knew. The cup full of names
Venom
knew.
Snake is handing you a cake right now.
Tactical engravings across it.
Thank you, Adam, for your patronage.
And I would say for me, I will shout out because I had two friends that I had reached out to after I had been sort of jostled in to sub in. And I would say Brian and Anthony, which are internet named Killer Seymour and 1 Gigapixel. They're super supportive, super dope guys. And I would love to see you guys as part of our community because you would absolutely fit in. So
Yeah.
now there's a call to action, fellas.
Get on in here.
You've been called out.
So
Showdown.
otherwise, how do you guys feel? You guys want to get started into some
I
stuff?
feel groovy.
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, I got one thing because I'm a nerd.
Go for it.
So we left off at the end of Virtuous Mission last time, and I was replaying that part of the game for this part of the game coverage, right? And there is this part where the boss is like looking at Snake, and then the camera kind of positions to where you can press the L1 button and you see the sorrow. And she says
Yes.
that line, "Drift away, my place is with them now." Is she talking to the sorrow or is she talking to Snake?
I always thought she was talking to Snake on this part.
I think she's talking to the sorrow.
So I actually think it's both.
Oh, this is big brain. All right. Come on, Warren, lay it on us.
So for me, I think that it's basically she always knows the sorrow's paying attention. So I do think that when she's having that conversation with Snake, she's saying she's doing what she's doing. And I think that she's talking to the sorrow because it's one of those where he knows that he's going to be gone too, right? As we play this game. No spoilers, but we know that he's a boss in the future, and so is she. So as we go through the game, I see that that's something that she's saying is, drift away, do what you have to do because you're going to have some bodies to deal with in the future
To put it lightly.
Yeah.
of this game. Yeah. So good catch. And so I would say anybody, if you're playing along with us or you have your workbooks open, we are going to talk. Basically, we finished the Virtuous Mission in its entirety. We were left for dead in Russia, and we got Fultoned out of there. We're going to talk the commencement of Operation Snake Eater all the way through the boss fight with the pain and getting out of the caves. So just to let you guys know where we are, there's some cool stuff in this. I can't wait to actually talk about a few of it. We get some formal introductions with some characters we may have seen, a couple of boss fights. Pretty cool.
Warren, I got to say,
So-
because I don't think you're logged into a Google account, it's showing you as like a anonymous thing.
Anonymous
on,
Walrus.
Anonymous Walrus.
Yeah.
Which totally sounds like a code name from like a soldier you'd Fulton in MGS3.
Yes.
Is that an S rank
That's
you got
amazing.
there or an S plus?
Damn right. It's all about the timing. You don't worry about anything else. Just be non-lethal and get through it as fast as possible. That's how you get the S. Right. So we're now starting. We have been brought back. So we're at episode where we ended last episode. We discussed everything that happened until we got Fultoned out of Russia.
Oh, yeah.
So as far as the game is concerned, we are now rushed into a beautiful title sequence and a beautiful song sung by Cynthia Hardnell.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's ballsy. It's brassy. She's got moxie. I love every bit about it. I love the song. We can talk about it later. I love that the game makes its own reference to the game, and I will definitely talk about that when we get to that point as well. I just think the song's been talked to death, but man, is it great. And I just love it's got to be a joke, right? Because it's a video game, and she's doing this like inner Shirley Bassey Goldfinger style song, and she is nailing every note. And I love when that's a thing.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah. It's real homage to the Bond films, right?
Right.
And I don't know about you guys, but I just can't. I can't boot up this game and let that menu go by. Every time it comes up, I have to hear the song at least one time, depending on my mood, maybe a couple more.
And how many times did you guys press the button to get it to go Snakey?
Oh, during every appropriate gap in the song, naturally.
Oh yeah. It's so cool because you get to like be the director of the video.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you can sort of change like the color, I guess, or the background and all that. There's like so many things you can kind of tweak and go as you're watching.
The speed with which Snake takes somebody down with CQC.
Oh, right.
You can. I think you can rewind him too, if I'm not mistaken. You can make him go in reverse.
I think you can. Yeah, you can just sort of like have your fun with it, which is great.
It's a great menu screen or title screen, I guess.
So we get cut from the song, and we are dropped into Snake is already back in action. He's in a drone now, I guess, so they can't do the halo jump again. Mm-hmm. We are seeing, crazy high-paced action, and we get cut to a week prior or something like that.
Yeah.
And it is security footage, or at least it looks like security footage to me, of Major Zero coming in and having a face-to-face with Jack Snake.
It's like the briefing in MGS1, that kind of menu ish, like a microfiche. That's the whole aesthetic in this game, right?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's just really brown, really grainy, and I just love that you constantly see like the tracking. It's like constantly move. You can't fix it. There's nothing you can do about it. So you can't actually see who's talking, but you know by the voices like what's going on.
It's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Super spy stuff. So they're having a conversation, and basically he's just expositing what has happened. So the long story short of it is that they blame Snake for the boss's defection. They believe that he is an accomplice and basically aided her in this. And we get thrown into a conversation between Khrushchev and President Johnson. And they have a conversation. It's a pretty long one because Kojima loves his cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
But the long and the short of it is America did it, but we didn't actually do it. So those nuclear weapons that were launched in your country, and I know we had like a ship in there in that airspace, but it was one of our people that defected. And she's like with your people now, and she gave those rockets as a gift. Now, so we didn't do it. And Khrushchev is not really happy with that as a solution.
Yeah. It's so funny because like Kojima does a really good job here of fitting it into the history because he says that Colonel Volgan or Khrushchev tells, President Johnson, that the Colonel Volgan is backing the Brezhnev faction when Brezhnev was actually the next Soviet premier after Khrushchev. Like there was a small coup and Khrushchev was removed. So they did a good job of mapping that. I think it's funny though that Volgan would back Brezhnev because like Brezhnev was an old man and all the jokes in him in like Russia at the time or the Soviet Union were just about him being really geriatric and old and like having to read from note cards all the time.
Sure.
There's a good joke that's like, Comrade Brezhnev is sitting in his office and hears a knock at the door. He stands up, puts on his spectacles, and pulls out a note card and then says, "Come in."
Classic Russian humor, guys.
Oh yeah.
So I actually like this conversation a lot. I do love the voices are the best. I know you guys had mentioned on a previous episode, like the Russian American accents. And I love President Johnson, it's the boss. You may know her as Voyevoda. And it's just like,
ooh, that was really good. I like his, I personally love the, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But then Khrushchev just goes like, you have 1 week. 1 week. And basically the mission is given that to, I guess, keep America safe from a potential a nuclear war, is they have to get back into Russia. They have to get Sokolov back. They have to destroy the Shagohod.
Yes.
And they have to kill Volgan and the boss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the last thing. That's like, you have to kill the boss.
Right. And of course, Snake's like, I'm not a mercenary. And he's just like, well, she's your enemy, so get to it.
Yeah. And that here we conveniently, just 2 hours into the game, this callback to the conversation with the boss at the beginning where she's like, soldiers change sides and time moves all things and whatever. And here, big boss, Snake, finds himself on the opposite side of the person who told him this.
Yep. You may never know the enemy tomorrow may not be the enemy today.
Hell yeah.
So good. So now we are thrust into our drone footage. We learn that you can't do a halo jump. They've absolutely increased security. They can't get in under radar like they used to. So they drop I wish I had it in front of me, like an XD. It's an M21 aircraft, a Lockheed D-21 drone. And it's 30,000 feet above the Arctic Ocean. They fly in from the North Pole and they drop him in a drone to get into Russia, into the opening area again. And I love the R1, where you can see the cockpit and it's shaking like crazy. You can't really make sense of anything in front of you. Mm-hmm. And
you see that poster though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look up, right?
Yeah, of course you do.
Because you're playing a Kojima game, and why wouldn't you?
Yes, exactly. Well, you have to. I mean, that makes perfect sense. So now we land. We are in. We are basically right where we left off after the Virtuous mission. You run through a couple of maps to get us back to where your drone has crashed. And we see and hear a white horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that a Twin Peaks reference?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't there a some sort of storytelling thing, or I know directors like to talk about the white horse stands for something different for every single, if it's in a dream it means something. I know it was a huge Blade Runner thing, the Ridley Scott thing about the white horse or the unicorn. I don't know if he's doing that kind of pointing his finger at it I'm going to do this, because there's nothing tactical.
Yeah.
Right. About riding a horse in the rain if you're trying to do your thing. But
True.
We learn very quickly that it's the boss's white horse. She is in a dope sneaking suit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get how the white has that advantage in there, but man, she's got the little knife to the side. It's got these extra zippers or wires where the collarbones are. I don't know what any of it does, but she looks so badass.
It looks like a cosmonaut suit,
right?
Almost. And
that makes sense.
She's got some real serious David Bowie vibes because she's got her hair slicked back. She's changed her appearance. She's no longer got the bandana,
right?
And she's got this gun too.
Right. So now we learn that she knows that Snake's there, which this whole thing was supposed to be a secret mission anyway. You have 7 days to do this. You land, and the boss already knows you're there. She beats the crap out of you, takes the awesome submachine gun, the Patriot. She unleashes, 300 bullets, a whole clip into the drone, blowing it up. So that's wasted. She gets back on the horse, I guess breaks his hand or wounds his hand, not to the point where we have to heal it in the HUD, but...
And then gives him shit for wearing her bandana.
Wearing the bandana, rips the gun apart, right? She's just schooling him. Student meet teacher, get out. What are you doing? And I want to throw out there, I totally believed that she was playing a character.
Yeah.
Almost instantly when I first played this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because the suit, the hair, the gun is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned for her character. She would never carry that gun.
She's like a
as
video
an
game
actual
villain
weapon.
now.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a super boss, and it's awesome.
It completes her
It's so cool.
defection. Like now he's seeing her physically different, carrying different weapons, emphasizing a big gun over CQC. It just adds to the whole, oh, got you. You thought this was the game up until this point, but
Yeah. Now it gets like lethal, you know? And the stakes are higher. I think it's kind of cute how she's like with the bandana reference, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's
like,
definitely a knock to us
still
as
clinging
players
that
too.
or whatever. But it's like, you know, she doesn't need the bandana anymore. She's already got infinite ammo with the Patriot.
yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But so she's like, oh, you're still dependent on that thing?
Just look at you.
You big dummy. But she does
it's
in
so
her
good, though.
big dialogue, she presents a ton of like just rapid fire dichotomies to Snake, who's like, who's it going to be, Snake? Your former mentor or your country? The mission or your loyalty? And all this
or
stuff.
Your beliefs, your loyalty, right.
And she creates like a whole lot of like false dichotomies here. There are just like these scenarios that are meant to like antagonize Snake against her, I believe.
Right. And she does sort of explain exactly what she's going to do for the rest of the game in that moment right there. She literally says like, I'm loyal to my purpose, I'm loyal to the mission. Exactly what she's been saying, but she just sneaks in those couple of lines that if, you know, on a third play, fourth play, fifth play, you know she's been doing it from day one.
Yeah.
There's no like she changed her mind later or had this defection. You know that she has resolve already. She's already there, and she is the big bad.
She's a soldier, and she's playing her part.
Yes, and that's the thing. She's so good at it. That's why I was just like, what is going on here? Like, it's like I said, you wouldn't know she's the same person if you had to. If she didn't do what she did, you might think like, does she have an evil twin? Like, that's not her. Like, that's not the character, right?
Oh man!
So now we get.
What if we had gotten on like the fucking GameCube
Evil
Metal
twin
Gear Solid
shit?
3 evil twin snakes?
Twins?
Oh, no,
oh my
no.
god!
And they changed it to have like she has a twin.
That would have been terrible.
It would have been
that
so
would have
bad.
been terrible. Thank you, Kojima. And you did talk about it last. I do think this is the sweet spot for Metal Gear right now. They're having so much fun. They've established that they have a popular franchise. They can make these choices, and it feels so grounded. I know there's a guy that's a spider and a guy that can command bees and crap, but that's in comparison to the first two games.
Yeah,
it's like nothing. Like that's so Monday morning, stuff.
Right.
That like it feels really grounded, even though it's not.
I mean, it's not a character living on through another character's arm, or his own arm in another character's body.
In the cold open of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Tune in a very long time from now when we talk about Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's forever away, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, because this is chronological.
It's chronological, right. So now we're on a very long codec call where we get basically, hey, you're back, Snake. How's everything going? And Snake, not good. Boss, I have no gun. I'm injured. The boss knows I'm here, and she killed the drone. So what's up? What are we doing here? And he basically still says, well, it's procure on site. So commence Operation Snake Eater and go do your thing. And what I do love, though, is I love the callback. So the password, because you're going to meet up with Adam, who is another secret agent that's in there, a defector that is going to meet you at Rasviet, where you had lost Sokolov before. So you're going to go basically through the same map that you just went to, because you're going back to where you were to infiltrate to get Sokolov out. And I love the line, because for some reason it just always sits with me, is the password.
Who are the Patriots? And Lali Lulelo.
Oh, that's not...
I love it every time.
I love how because this comes hot off of 2. And this is all like sinister and stuff. And it's just like, oh, sweet little innocent. It's just a passcode.
Yep. It's so good. So I love that. Yeah.
And it does hint at like this conflict between Zero and Snake that will arise in the future.
Oh, sure.
Just the near future.
Oh, I never thought of that. Wow. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. It definitely plays. Going back, it is fun, like especially to go chronologically, to pay attention to you really start focusing on different parts and how they affect so far in the future, and then you're like, oh wait, but they wrote that game first, so like that's a dig. That's some flair right there, which I love.
Yeah,
especially with all the time paradox stuff, which we can get to at a certain point.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there. I can't wait for time paradox.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
And I will say, like, coming out of this cutscene and you commence the mission, Snake gets his ass kicked here again by the boss.
Yes.
And I think it's such a good narrative piece. It really sets up a lot of momentum for character development in this game, because like you tie the progression of the character's development to the actual gameplay elements.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And I did put a little line in there because so he's already injured, right? He's 48 hours off of intensive care from what just happened to him. So he's already
paramedics
injured.
like, you should not be doing this,
Right. So you're barely healed, if at all, from your previous encounter. Your mentor and mother figure has lit a match and just thrown it on you. Like, you can't keep up. You see her again. I know a lot of people are like, how can Snake be this Green Beret, this great, soldier, that why he's even doing the mission in the first place, and then get, turned to paste so quickly, so fast in this game. And I don't know. I never thought twice about him getting like torn apart. I was like, by the first time it was more, he was like, holy shit, this is my mom, essentially. And I'm not gonna fight my mom. Yeah, I'm gonna do the motions because I want to show her that I'm gonna stand up to her, but my insides are going to be turned to liquid, and I'm going to be thrown over a bridge.
Liquid.
And I'm back. And I'm back. And I see her again. I'm injured. There's no way. I know he's trying. He's going to at least put up a fight. There's no way. The boss didn't train him to give up, right? Like, that's not the thing. But like, you wouldn't think twice about beating up your mom. It does suck for him. But I know that was always like an early. People were like, "This is the first one. He's supposed to be like big boy. He's supposed to be badass." It's like, well. I mean, he is. Like, you never saw like a Bruce Lee movie where like the other master gets the shit kicked out of him by Bruce Lee? They're both masters. Like, it's okay.
But by the end of the game, like, you are a badass.
Yeah.
Right. Like, tried and true.
You feel like you've earned it.
You've done it.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed. I totally agree.
After going through the deep dive on the boss and what brought her up to the point of Snake Eater and kind of understanding her relationship with Snake, it makes a lot more sense as well, because Snake is kind of tested before this, but he hasn't had a lot of real intense battle experience at this point. I mean, he was in the Korean War, I guess, and maybe I just don't know a lot about that or how that went down.
I mean, he's had field training.
Yes,
he's, developed CQC in some sense, so he's well versed in the actual moves and things of that. But
right.
I just feel like I never thought that I was the strongest person in the room upon entry to Russia, ever.
Yeah.
I never thought that, and it does. It makes for great storytelling because you're actually growing as a character and the story's evolving around you.
Well, exactly. And like you were saying earlier, once you consider what it means to be Snake, to be controlling Snake and fighting his former mentor, and not only mother figure, as we've been talking about, but also, I gather through multiple plays of this, somewhat of a love interest too. There's a confusion and a blurring of the lines between there.
College Warren had a love interest.
Yeah, I know. You heard me say it on a previous episode. Like,
oh man, she is.
How can
she
you
is
not?
The whole package.
How can
She's
you
the whole
not be a
package.
little confused about what's going on there? Am I right?
So now that's happened. We are commencing Operation Snake Eater, and I do love they raise the stakes. You are instantly in caution. So you don't have the ability to just be sneaking instantly.
Yeah.
You might know it at first, but you think you're already caught.
You
So you have to
you have no weapons
dip, dive, and
either.
duck, whatever you got to do. And you have nothing. Yeah, you have
You
to
don't even have a tranq
hide
gun.
and run. Right. Yeah, your hush puppy was ripped to shreds. So did anybody have any trouble with getting from map to map as far as the pieces there?
I feel like This part of the game really reminds me of the first 2 sections of MGS1, where you're
Agreed.
in the warehouse and you go upstairs up the elevator, because both of those rooms in MGS1, you don't have any weapons until you procure the SOCOM, unless you get under the truck. But with this, like, you don't even have the option to pick up a gun until pretty far along in your journey, like where you're almost at your destination.
I don't think you get it until you reach your destination, right? Until you meet up with who you're supposed to meet up with.
You can find something where the crocs are. There is like some grenades there and some other stuff.
You can
shit, I
pick
just
up an
missed that.
AK-47.
Oh,
in the
now, I did.
warehouse.
Now I gotta step in here for a moment, because I've realized that as soon as I voiced it on the podcast, I contradicted myself in the way that I was playing. I said that I wanted to play a survivalist kind of playthrough, and that meant, only procuring what is needed. And then I immediately started trying to collect all the goodies and was like, yeah, no, I'm a collector. I love to collect shit. So in order to remedy that, I made 2 files. One where I get to collect all the shit, and one where I play survivalist. Nice. So yeah, I did go ahead and get that AK-47, and I did happen to take out some aggression on some of those surrounding barrels when it was safe to.
Yeah. Nice.
Because there's almost nothing more satisfying than just blowing those shits to pieces.
Oh, I know. The funny thing is, those barrels, if you blow them up in the first part of the game in Virtuous Mission, because you're just retracing your steps here from Virtuous Mission, right? It's like you did it before with weapons. Now you got to do it again without weapons, and it's dark, and you have to be stealthy. So
yes,
you have to put all the skills you've learned in Virtuous Mission to the test. And you get to this part, and if you blew up the barrels in Rosviet, they're replaced. So, like, who the fuck is moving these barrels around?
Right.
Are like Boris and Leonid, like, oh, we must put the explosive barrel in Rosviet. Snake blew up the last one. We need new explosive barrel.
We must hide silencer of M16 gun found earlier.
Oh, I'm going to put raindrop camel right here under cove.
But you're right, though. You're so right.
I'll just put these thermal goggles in this locker here that has nothing else in it. Somebody might need to come back to this specific locker for this.
It is dark in locker, so you know where people are in building. It's very helpful.
Maybe we hide poster in here, and night vision goggles help sense heat after looking at poster.
Yes. So we make our way through, and we go from map to map. There wasn't anything that was so specific about it. I just love there are multiple ways that you can find out. Are you guys using the battery items, like the anti-personnel sensor or any of those things? I'm specifically choosing to do so because I never did. So I've been using like the anti-personnel, the motion sensor,
I use the motion sensor because it's real handy in finding animals too. And I'm trying. I've never collected all the snakes, and I know that there's one snake that only appears once in the game. It's super rare.
Which one is that?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Great question.
I got the strategy guide right in front of me, but
I know
it's my fingers.
And I think you find it in Granini Gorky. I just don't remember what the name of the thing is. Damn it. I wish I did.
Yeah.
We'll get to it because there is another place to get it too.
Probably when I get it, I will call it out.
There we go.
That's what I'll do.
So we make our way. We get back to Rosviet. And it is a ghost town. Really nothing going on. So you get in there. You grab some stuff. I found a bunch of items that I could find helpful. And you go into the bedroom. You realize that, well, obviously Sokolow's not there, but you got to where you need to go so you can get yourself together. We walk on out of that room, and we get to meet, I don't know, probably one of my favorite characters in the game.
Hell yeah.
Eva?
We get to meet Eva, guys.
Big Mama Eva.
Davida.
Oh my God.
I love it. And she gets sexy sax music, right? She gets like all this fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
She just goes like her cleavage plunging through there.
You guys.
Gives you the R1 to go into it. And
gives you the R1 to go into it.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
And the thing I'm trying to understand is, did anybody think she was a good guy when you meet her?
I was too distracted, to be honest with you.
She doesn't know the password. She's not Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's obvious from the get-go. There's something fishy here because she refuses to give the passcode, right? She refuses to answer, and then something conveniently happens.
Right. And she does, she's obviously on his side because she could have just let him die. But she also could have, maybe it was to save her own skin. Especially the first time I played this, I was not convinced. I was like, this, I've seen Bond movies. This chick's going to try to kill me later in the game.
Yeah.
That's where my head was playing this.
It's like an enemy of my enemy scenario. She definitely wants something. I felt like she wanted something out of me.
Sure.
Yeah. But she definitely continues that theme of like really awesome female characters. I know she's a little bit more sexualized, but she is badass in her own way. That gun is crazy.
Speaking of, my favorite thing about this, I played these files a couple times. Like I said earlier, I have a survivalist file, and then I have one where I get to collect and play with all the goodies. And speaking of goodies, during that cutscene where Snake has his first encounter with her, and you get that R1 trigger as she unzips her jumpsuit. You guys, I was playing that with my mother-in-law present. She was sitting on the couch next to me. And I just felt like, she wasn't really paying attention, but I just had to be like, oh, listen, Mama G, this is going to get kind of sultry, just a fair warning. And she looks up and oh my, it is sultry. And I said, well, it was written by a Japanese man. And she said, well, you can tell it was written by a man, that's for sure.
Oh, of course. I love it.
And just, she had to see me, because I can't let those R1 moments go by. So she saw me have to take advantage of every single one that came by after that.
Yeah.
I think on the HD collection, you get a trophy for hitting all the secret
R1s.
Yeah,
R1s.
That's what I'm going for.
And there is some great ones. Like they're almost Easter eggs and helpful.
Yeah.
Like, you have to use the R1. So they do incentivize it. Maybe in the wrong way, but they do incentivize using the R1 feature.
I don't know about that.
That one's definitely not tactical.
So if you don't press R1, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a better man.
Please talk about it.
I'm not gonna press R1. So what's really funny about it is they do a medium shot of Snake, and his eyes are like hubba hubba, like it's so ridiculous what they show where it's like
what he's staring at.
Yeah, like you missed out, player, and
you
it's
may
so
as well
hilarious.
be hitting R1 because otherwise you're just gonna watch this spazoid geek out over it.
Oh my god, it's so funny because like now knowing it, it's just I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, they really are just like tripling down on like, dude, get a look, like you got goods right there. Like, what are you doing?
Naked Snake is a weird guy. And and I like that he has a separate personality. Like, it's not just Solid Snake. He really is totally unique. And I never felt like this was just a recycled character,
It never felt like that to me either. Yeah, this felt like a new experience, and I knew he was going to look like him because I've seen the marketing and all that stuff. But yeah, he does not feel like Solid Snake, and you play differently, right? Because you are technically a different person, and that
for sure.
That's the stuff I love. Like I said, they're just having fun with it. They know that they can kind of do whatever they want, and we're probably going to eat it up. Like they're at that point now, and this is what makes the most fun of it. Like, this is the best part because they just are like, yeah, whatever. We're just going to throw everything on the sandwich and you're going to eat it.
Plus, this was trying to be a Bond movie in literally every way it could. So, if you don't have some scantily clad femme fatale, what even is the point,
Right. Yeah. Especially one that, and it's so interesting. And so now they're having a conversation. He gives her, so he talks about her gun. He's got to say that it's a Chinese imitation, things like that. She gives him the custom M1911A, I believe is the exact letter.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Oh boy, he loves guns, huh? What do you think?
He gets so weird about this gun.
Dude, yeah, there's like extra, he's getting real handsy with it. He's touching all the little pieces.
Really uncomfortable piece of porn.
Yeah, it is. It's gun porn. It really is gun porn.
Yuck.
It's a great line at the end where he does say, like, every little piece of this has been customized. Like, I love that.
Whoa,
but
Warren, your voice is You're really good.
Oh, thanks. The walk to it, I'll unveil the pain when we get there because I've been working on that.
Yes, good.
So it is creepy though. How he touches the gun, he's talking about the slide's been released.
It's
he's
like
just
rocking
all
back
over
and
it.
forth like he's on drugs.
Yeah, and I always get a crack up when someone takes a gun that is unloaded and they gotta shoot it, and it's like, well, did you notice anything different because it's empty? Like, did you want to make sure it fired clean? Like, I don't know. I never got that, but it's a dope gun and it looks cool as shit, and I want one.
I'd never use
they did
this
their job.
gun like ever again.
Same, dude. Same.
No, I don't.
Super
I don't
same.
either because I generally like to be Mr. Sandman. I don't like to kill if I don't have to, and if I do, I'm going to use a machine gun.
Yeah,
Why use a handgun when you have a rocket launcher?
for sure.
Grenades.
I try to do a non-lethal playthrough, but that's not going so well.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I promised a
that button
kill count,
slips.
but
Yeah.
kind of lost track this episode.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I'm doing 2 playthroughs at the same time so that I can, because it did take me a bit to like remember how to play this game. There is a couple of things that third-person shooters sort of changed since MGS3 came
yeah.
out. So
Yeah,
I
full of
played
that.
through and I'm like, how do I was like, wait, hold on, I have to press this button to pull the gun out. Then I have to press this button to turn it into first-person mode, and then I have to press another button to shoot, but I can't move it, or if I do, they'll hear the fact that the gun fired. So I'm like, this is a nightmare. So I was like, I'll just kill everyone in this playthrough, and once I figure out everything, I'll play another playthrough,
Yeah.
and I'll get good, and I'll do stealth, because I really do want to do the stealth. I love getting the camos from the bosses and things like that. That I love that sort of like reward for knowing the game, or at least being good enough to die a bunch to get good at it.
Yeah, it takes patience, that's for sure. It takes a while to rediscover that muscle memory.
Definitely. So now we meet Eva. She is doing a lot of stuff for us, and she gives us a whole plan. Hey, I got a scientist outfit for you. We're going to sneak you into the lab so you can get your hands on Sokolov. We'll be out tomorrow morning. It'll be great. They do the trope where, let's get started now. No, you're exhausted. No, I'm not. Fall asleep right away, like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I do love it because it is a trope, but
I got
it's so
something to say
obvious.
about this part too. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, I think it was in the Discord, commented on the fact that we talked about Snake's weird, like Japanimation, overly exertive style when he said, "This can't be happening."
Yeah.
And he has another moment like this during the scene with Eva. She tells him he ought to rest because it's jungle out there. And even as skilled as you are, Snake, you're tired and you need to just have a lie down.
Yeah, and Paramedic chimes in. Doctor's orders.
Yeah. Well, besides that. And
Yeah.
so he's reluctant. And she goes, "What's wrong? You can't trust me?" And he goes, he like really wrangles rings his hands together. And he bends down really far and he goes, "I don't know if I can trust anybody." And it's just so dramatic. And speaking of Twin Peaks references, it reminded me of literally every character in Twin Peaks, especially
Yes.
James. "Oh, I don't know if I can trust anybody." You know what I mean?
God.
Chris, I figured you would be right along with this one.
Yeah. The Twin Peaks thing reminds me of something. He does this like Dale Cooper's thing, right?
Yeah.
And what do you mean? Which one?
In the way I think that he kind of narrates to us what's going on.
Yes. Totally agree.
Right?
Not as on the nose, but he definitely does it.
Yeah. Like it's almost like the Diane thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he does have the same thing. It's just, wrapped around his ear and on his belt, but I guess on his chest.
Yeah.
Is that your read on, "I don't know if I can trust anybody"?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a flawed character, Eva.
this is
Learn that
like
later.
Twin Peaksy in the sense of it's like very the soap opera side of that.
Yeah, the melodramatic.
It's
Of
so
it all.
much melodrama going on in this game.
Especially when you're just supposed to be capturing and killing people.
Yeah.
And they drop this on you an hour in.
Yeah. Anyway, I always just thought that part was really funny because his body language at certain points through the game are just really over exaggerated, I think. And this is another moment like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
I
yeah.
clocked.
which are the best. And that's the thing that makes it's the camp. Like you expect it to
Yeah.
have like, and they call it out. Like we'll get to it in future story episodes, but there are a couple times where like people's movements or sounds are like mocked by other characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I love that they're aware of it. The characters in the game are aware of the stupid shit that other characters do in this game. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
So Eva gives us the plan. We take a nap. We wake up. We're kind of woken up out of our little nap, and Eva's getting dressed. So we get another little shot of her putting her little jumpsuit on, and you can still get a closer look if you'd like. See those great underwear she's got on. Yeah. And
She's just wearing a bathing suit, you guys. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. And Snake recognizes that someone's outside or someone's in the area, and she's like, "Well, what do you hear? What do you hear?" And you look out. I love that. That's one thing I love about with 3D games, at least when they try to do cinematic. I love that they have like the shot of him and the window, and you can see the guys in the background. He looks out. I see 4 of them, and this is like, I guess, the first mini boss fight. I guess you wouldn't call it a boss fight because it's not an actual like boss, but this is, you got to clear it basically. The Gru are coming after you, and Eva's like, I can't get caught. They can't know I'm here, so I'm gonna sneak out through the secret passage underneath the bed here, and I'll catch you later, and we'll meet up on the flip-flop. So
Bye.
yeah, so I actually love this sub-boss thing. I feel like I'm on my own here.
It's one of the cooler moments of the game, for
I
sure.
love this moment. The only thing I don't like is that they have the little thing that says like how many enemies are left. It's the only thing that like kind of gets a little like, all right, like would you know that? I could see if you tagged them, like maybe that was something you could do, is you could see them and it would remember that like, okay, you already knocked out the guy on the left, so you actually have 7 of the 8 guys you've seen left.
Yeah.
Something like that would have been cooler, but just the fact that it has like the ticker.
That never
right there.
bothered me from the get-go because of where I was at as a video game player by the time this game was coming out. I didn't feel all that confident in my stealthing skills and being able to get around totally undetected. So knowing how many I still had to look for made me a little cautious, and it made me rely on other things like the sonar and the motion detector, which I kind of appreciated. I do agree now, having played it, I don't know, a dozen times maybe in my life. I think it could add to the mystery a little bit without having that counter. But I will say, as like a relatively new player to the series going in to play this game, that was kind of appreciated by me.
Sure. Yeah, it's appreciated. I just looking back, I'm like, well, but I love this. So did anybody have like, did they try to be sneaky? What was your way to get through and get everybody? Did you try to throw the stun grenades to get the 4 guys coming at you and then try to sneak out, or did everybody go underneath the bed and start sneaking around like the game kind of showed you?
I hid in the closet, and then I snuck out the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not do that, so that's interesting.
So
what happens with that? Do they move, and they don't notice you?
So I just wait for the last one to say move, and I just kind of peek, and I sneak behind those boxes, and then you can see the last one, he has his head stuck through the doorway. So you can if you're fast and you do it right, you can hit him and he'll drop, and someone will be like, "Whoa, what was that?" And he'll come in the doorway and you just go pop right in the head and he drops. And he's like, "Whoa, what was that?" And the other one will just keep coming. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
So you can get like a good number of them out of the way. I think 3 guards in total.
So Chris, this counted as your body count, right?
Well, hold on. Things went terribly wrong for me because I wasn't as quick. So they all bum rushed me, and I was like in the corner, right? And all I had was the trank gun out. So I pulled out the AK-47, and I'm just
there it
is, screaming, "Get away from me!"
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I killed all 5 of them.
I think there were 8.
I killed 5 of them that way, and then
so the first 3.
There's the guy on the roof.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tranked him, and I tranked the other 2 that were not like in that cluster that moves around.
Yeah, the 4-man group.
Because there's one that's like far, far away, and then there's another that's like right by the door, the exit of the area.
So what about you, Tori? Did you have any? Were you Mr. Sandman?
Oh yeah, I have a strategy for this part that I.
Oh, we got programmer strats.
I can't.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I can't walk away from this way of doing things because it's just always worked for me. So I take the bait. I'll go ahead and crawl underneath the quote unquote factory first, just because 1, I like a little crawling. 2, I can always find a meal down there or 2.
True. That's true.
So then I move towards the opening crawl space out of the factory basement, I guess is what you call it.
Sure.
The one that
and you
opens.
You went through like the actual vent, not like the hole in the wall.
Sorry, the hole in the wall?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Go. Keep going then. So go through the vent as you're talking.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. No, that'll come into play here in a little bit.
Oh, nice.
If I understand you correctly. So yeah, I always crawl out the hole that leads you to like the southern point of the map first. And there's usually, if I time it right, there's a guard standing right there that I'll trank. And I don't know, it depends on how impatient I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll trank him once and wait for him to fall down. Sometimes I'll just throw like 5 or 6 of them at him in a row. It just depends. Once he's down, I'll crawl to the east of the map and get that guard that's over kind of by the ladder up to the roof. Mm-hmm. And then I'll crawl up to the roof and CQC that guard up there. And then is where it gets a little more interesting because the guards on the ground that are left are usually moving in some sort of formation, some sort of pattern. So that's when the motion detector and sonar sometimes come into play for me. If I'm real lucky, I'll fuck up and get caught while trying to spot them.
When you're lucky, you get caught?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It makes things more interesting. While trying to tag him from the roof. And if that happens, I'll usually crawl back under the factory. And then I'll climb out under the broken pieces of flooring that are kind of just holes in the wall, right? Which I think is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A little bit, some of those improvised holes.
Yeah, I'll sneak under the bed. And I will stay underneath and just cap the foot of the guy where like the vent cover is.
Yeah.
Get him in the foot. I got plenty of time. I'll start crawling back. There's a hole in the wall to my left. Crawl out the hole in the wall to the left.
Okay.
Got my little stack of boxes. Do a little peek through on the side of the boxes.
Okay.
Cap the guy right there by the ladder. Take a couple steps back. Look straight up. You'll see eventually that guy on the roof is going to poke out just a little bit. Clip him right at the top. Crawl the ladder. And then all I do is just slowly sit up top at the roof and just shoot them one by one.
There you go.
Man,
until they're done.
that's a maneuver.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get good at it, and I couldn't believe it. It only took me 2 times this time to actually like remember it. I was like, oh, right, the thing on the left. And you can also kill the rats, at least you can trank the rats and eat them for later. You can trap them that are underneath, so if you need some food as well.
See, like this game and the first Metal Gear Solid are the 2 that I've played the most, and I have like these specific kind of strats for each section of the game, and I just, even when I try to force myself to play differently, I kind of fall into these patterns of like, I just do the thing because it's like, it's comforting in a way, but it's also like nostalgic that like you're playing through the game like you were when you were younger or whatever.
Agreed. So we knock them all out.
Yes.
We are ready to go. We're going to go find out, and we meet again Mr. Ocelot.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not happy about what just happened. And Eva's trying to get out, and he basically, I guess, gets her in like a little hold in the back. He's kind of pervy, a little gropey. It's pretty, you can tell Eva's a woman without having to be so handsy, but he does smell the perfume, which they do call later. And of course, Snake has to school Ocelot again because now Ocelot has a revolver. And I do love the scene, though, between the whole concept of him. She gets out of it. They fight off. The ridiculous cycle flip smacks him in the head. She runs off to get out to go towards the lab. And it's such a badass line though of there's only one thing, you don't have what it takes to kill me.
Oh my God, I love that.
And he's like, what? And he starts and he goes to shoot and it's empty and he's like, 6 shots.
6 shots. Ugh. That thing only carries 6 shots. The Makarov carries 8.
Before that, though, like in the middle of that, that's something I noted as being a favorite part of this whole scene for me. I love that she takes advantage of that little stare down they have after Snake says, "You don't have what it takes to beat me." And they just have their little bro off for a minute. Meanwhile, Eva just like takes a look left, takes a look right, and is like, "Oh no, I'm free to escape this moment." Great. Yeah. So she what does she do? She brings her foot up over her head and kicks him, or does she elbow him? I can't remember what she does, but whatever it is fucking badass. And then she does a flip onto her bike to leave. Like,
it's so good.
All right.
And like, what is this bike thing she does?
Oh, I know. It's like a sizzle reel from a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
Like she's like cutting a promo if like she's a wrestler to be like, yo, I can be part of this. She's so good. She's good at everything.
Yeah.
It works.
Like, it's incredible. She can hold her own. She's got that dope gun. The bike is like an extension of her. But she jumps over the whole building.
This is like one
where
of those,
is there a ramp to do that?
Almost like a Grindhouse Planet Terror type.
Yep.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is.
Movie ripoff.
It's so good.
Let's talk about that movie sometime.
Yeah, it does so great, and I love it because without her, you can't leave because she has to break the fence down. So it's all story focused, which is fantastic. And Ocelot sort of does his hand thing and gets out. And now we're on our way.
Have you ever seen anybody do this, like in real life? I just need
Other
to
than
know.
Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore.
Oh, God damn it, you're right. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? So now we are on our way. We are aware that the lab is in that direction. So we're going to head that way. And we have a couple of really cool maps. So what does a great job here, and I know, Chris, you had mentioned it as it's another way to expand the gameplay. Yeah. So everything's a little bit bigger. You can go up, you can go down, you can crawl, you can climb. You can use some of the tools you've already gotten. Like you found, like there's so many little pieces. And then, of course, there are dogs. Mm-hmm. How do we feel about dogs, guys? You like dags?
I
hate having to shut them up
about the dogs.
Yeah.
I do feel bad too, but after Last of Us 2, I don't care.
Chris, I need to know. I need to know. This might totally change how I perceive you as a human. How do you handle these dogs, man? Are they a part of your body count?
I trank them.
Okay.
I never put the dogs down if I can help it.
It is cool though that they get up faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they make a noise when they get tranked.
Yes.
That others can hear, like that.
Yeah.
And that's like I hate dogs for that reason, but it's awesome. So they didn't add to your body count. We're not killing dags.
No dags.
Good.
But
right,
the
good.
dag did, catch the attention of a guard who then became part of my body count.
Gotcha.
I keep trying to interrogate the people, and then I just slit their throats. And I'm not wanting to do that. I just want to talk. It's like I just want to talk. Okay?
There should be an I just want to talk button.
But
Absolutely.
No, I'm gonna slit your throat.
Oh man, same though. That's just an everyday struggle, right?
Yeah.
I keep meaning to interrogate this person, but I accidentally murder them. Oh well. Moving on, I guess.
Yeah.
I do love how, like I said, it expands the gameplay. So it does reward being a little more curious about what's going on to the right, to the left. You don't just have to go, all right, I got to get past this fence. Like you find camo, you find extra ammo, you had silencer, like you find a bunch of random items you don't need, but it's at least like I made a wrong turn, but at least you're sort of justified in doing it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So
sure.
it works in your favor. And I love, again, it's just like, it's generic, but perfect gameplay. And like games like Mega Man X do this, it's like, hey, there's a tree to climb. Remember climbing trees, Snake? Do the action, get over the fence, look for the thing that's not sparking, find the little markings on the ground. Like they want you to track. They want you to use the first person and the camera that is pretty special to Metal Gear Solid 3. And it's really good game design. And it's really impressive that in 2004 there were, Devil May Cry 2 comes out. And that game's terrible. And next to it is this game. And it's like, how are they on the same system? How is this even like it's so next level game design for its time. And I love each piece. And sometimes it's just crocodiles. You know, there's not even soldiers that are the problem.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that croc cap?
That's croc cap, the sweet croc meat. Oh,
That-
croc meat's the
yeah.
best.
Oh, of course.
Tightrope walk is difficult.
Do you walk
it's
it?
terrible.
Do you guys
You
walk
don't
it?
climb it. You don't do you don't do like the monkey bars thing
You
to
can
it, kind
do
of where you
that.
just like
Yeah, it's easier to drop down on the second one if you don't walk it.
I walk it, and I always fall.
Oh man, you're adding extra headaches to your gameplay.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love this section of the game. The next room after Rasviet is called. Let me get my Russian out here.
Oh, here it comes.
Chris's Russian lesson.
No.
It's Charny Prud, which means
Right.
black pond or black lake,
Perfect.
which is appropriate. But I love
Yeah.
this room in the game. It like I have a save file that's here, you know, and I don't delete it. But it's
Aw.
really nice to just like sit in the swamp with the rain, you know, and you hear
Yeah.
all this wildlife like birds and crocodiles and frogs. And it's really easily one of my favorite moments of the game because you just have this boss fight and now you're just in nature again.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess we never really mentioned that too, like the constant just jungle noise.
Yeah.
You know, you're hearing monkeys or you're hearing maybe some kind of a bird in the background, like
Yeah, you guys know that I have
all that
birds in
stuff.
my house, right? You guys
Yeah.
know I live with birds.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine what it's
do
like?
they respond to it?
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's
definitely.
amazing. Oh,
Can
that's
you
so
imagine what
good.
it's like hearing this on the TV and then getting a response like from another room upstairs?
That's crazy.
That's great.
I've got
really good.
specifically a conure, which is for those of you who know me on the Discord community or follow me on Instagram. This picture that Sean has drawn for me includes my conure, which I think is just rad. And he is the most vocal one out of all of them. Every time I'm playing this and happen to be traipsing through the jungle, I can guarantee a little bit of a conversation from him because I don't know if he's into it or what, but he gets awfully chatty when I'm in this part of the game.
Sweet baby.
That's great.
It's really nice.
Adorable. It is something I love though that is unique, I think, to Metal Gear Solid 3 is that it feels super dense, you know? And,
Yes.
and they never
Totally agree.
ever replicate this in the series. It's not open world, but it really doesn't need to be because the atmosphere is so well done that you
So
have
detailed.
yeah, and you have the opportunities for the same open world play style. You just don't have to like mindlessly go across a field for 10 minutes or whatever to
Right.
Following a map marker.
yeah, which is really just like a fucking loading screen or whatever. But
Right.
it's just tight, condensed gameplay, right?
Oh, and that's why I love that we don't have a sonar, or not a sonar,
Soliton.
a Soliton. Thank you, a Soliton radar.
Yeah.
Coming from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, where you can actively rely on that to know what you're coming up against. And
Yeah.
I know you have sonar and motion detectors here, but even those run out of battery, and you have to kind of keep track of how much you're using them. It just added a whole new layer of this is survival first and foremost.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we keep moving forward, and we start to really get to, I guess, like a barracks or whatever you want to call it. Like it's like a little fort where
Yeah.
now we're going against 7, 8, maybe 10 guys. You have a helicopter off to the right hand side. He's kind of doing rounds. Got a couple of guys. I guess they're like anti-air guns or whatever sitting right there. There's like these big like 12 millimeters, and you got some guys maybe sitting at a table eating lunch like in the room, and you can see them through the glass.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of like, all right, let's get the one guy so I can like get in, and I'll go right in the trenches, and I'll just keep crawling.
Trench
poke my little
warfare,
head up,
baby.
and then pop, and then just do what I got to do. And I will take like a 400-yard shot with a Trent gun every day of the week if I can see that guy's head. I don't care how far he is.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
literally, I will wait
That's
instead of
ballsy.
getting closer. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, because if it whizzes past their head and it goes into like the trees, they don't react to the point where they're looking for you. They recognize something's off, but it's not like now they got to hunt down. if you miss and it like hits a wall or something, or a tree or something where they can kind of, I guess, recognize that it was a gunshot, they will be like, what was that? And then you're in caution and you're like, oh shit, like this is the worst idea ever. But this is another piece. It's the other half of that the world's building. So now if you want to do a little bit more than just going out, dodging the traps and dodging, I guess, the electric wire, you can find that they have like medical stations there. You can find they have food barracks there and ammunition huts.
Yeah.
And you can choose to destroy them or just steal all the stuff that's in there.
Did you guys do
awesome.
either of those? Did you explore this area?
I did.
Yeah.
I went everywhere.
So the area with the dogs before it, and then the base area. This is Bolshaya Pass, which is Russian for big mouth,
Nice.
Sure.
right? And it makes
see that.
sense because the next area that you go to after the base is called Bolshaya Pass Crevice, so it's big mouth crevice. It's a big hole in the ground, basically.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very literal with the naming stuff here. But yeah, I love this part. And like the base, I blow up the helicopter every time. I think it's so
Do
fun.
you?
You can like
Shit.
and I love the details of you mess with their food supply, the guards are hungrier.
Oh, I'm
Later
starving.
Yeah, and they'll like be more susceptible to stuff as far as like if you kill an animal and just leave the ration there, they'll come and get it.
Right.
Oh,
and
that's
it could be rotten. Like whatever you got, and it might not be good, and they're like, "Oh, this is awful." Oh, it's
Or
so
if you
good.
just like drop a rotten ration for them.
yeah,
And you
they'll
can use
actually
that
be
to, like,
distracted by food.
Lure them to you and like get the tranquilizer headshots. It's
Oh,
great.
these are the things I love that they took the time to think about luring
Yeah.
guards
Yeah.
to you.
Normally, I don't go for all of them, but I usually take out the ammunition hut because then they don't usually have a lot more. If they do fire at you, they run out of ammo way quicker, and they're like forced to use their handguns, not their machine guns anymore.
I keep forgetting to play with those parts of it. I just like reap whatever I can from this. I never think
Yeah.
about destroying it and keeping those guys from using them.
Right.
Yeah.
But it works, and it's cool. It's just an added piece, and you might not get anything out of it, but you're gonna find extra silencers. I don't believe you find a new gun in that area.
Do you
but I
find
think
extra silencers there?
Yeah, I think you find silencers. I don't think you get a
Fucking
new.
where?
Yeah, in the ammunition hut.
Yeah.
It's tucked in there. I think
What?
it's a 2 silencers for the handgun, and then you get a bunch of ammo for what you can find.
Is it
And-
just for the M19 or is it for the Mark 22?
Good question. I think it might be M19.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
It might not be a gun you actually use, but it is still incentivizing.
Good to know.
Now, are any of us hunting down the keratons? Like the little froggy
If I
boys?
see 'em,
Half-heartedly.
I'll shoot them. But
Yeah.
If I see them, I have to shoot them. Like I shot the one on top of the bridge,
Yeah, sure.
and I definitely shot the one like in the little office, like right down there by like where they keep their folders.
Yeah.
I just love the noises. I don't know what the noise is supposed to be.
It reminds me of
Like-
one of those like the
the same exactly the same thing.
Ew, all I hear is you gagging. That's all I hear.
But it's like wow, yeah. It just makes no sense. Like
Yeah.
it's not a frog noise. They're standing on 2 legs. I don't know what they are. They're keratons, I guess. But I don't understand what are they to sell something? Like what?
I
Why
don't
are they even
know.
here?
Just a little. I think Kojima just really likes Easter eggs, and this was because Keraton is that's a Nintendo thing, isn't it?
I guess so.
Isn't it a
guess
piece of the Nintendo?
I think I'm being schooled right now.
Well,
Something or other?
So in the 3DS version, they replaced the keratons with Yoshis.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now that's why I always wanted to call them Yoshis. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's interesting. Okay. I mean, I like that they make noise so you can use them as sort of cover so they can't hear you
Keraton.
if that's making noise, or they'll go towards that. So if you can shoot that off in the distance and it's making a noise, they'll go chase that sound.
They will notice it. And another thing, before we move on, I have to make mention of this because I think this is the first time I've encountered this. They will also notice your stomach grumbling if you do not feed Snake frequently enough.
No way.
They
really?
do. They really do. If
didn't
it gets
know that.
bad enough, his stomach will grumble loudly enough that so I was on the inside of one of these huts. I think it was just one of their barracks with a couple of cots in there. was on the inside of one of these huts, and because we just came from the swamp where leeches are present, and because I'm a dumbass and don't pay attention to my health bar or stamina bar, I didn't get to removing the leech until about this area, which sucked my stamina down like real quick. And yeah, so he had a nice little tummy grumble, and you hear a guard on the other side of this hut, on the outside of it, go, "What was that noise?" I'm like, "Oh fuck!" So I'm like crawling under a cot to avoid him coming in here and seeing me.
That's really cool.
So just keep that in mind.
That.
Y'all got to feed your hungry snake boy.
So yeah, that's another thing too that always surprised me. So they established that like there is a weight system.
Yeah.
Like an over-encumberment system in this game where you can only have so much in your bag and so much, I guess in your it's like a bag and a pack. So you have like your guns and you have like your not guns. And I was always so surprised that I thought like, I knew you can, but it seems odd. I try not to eat the food that's not like in my bag because I'm trying to like be real as I can, like realistic. Like, I just have 47 constrictor E's or whatever, just like in my menu, I'll just snack on those. So I try to only like pack what I need in between like areas and then use that. So I pay a lot of attention to it. So I'm still like, not save scumming, but you're kind of like, you're cheating. Like, if you're going to give me an over encumberment system, I try to stick to the pack out, I guess, until I complete like a boss fight or something.
I like the cutscenes that you see.
Yes,
thank
you for bringing these up. The little clips they show you.
Yeah, like if you eat something
like
for the first time, it shows you this projector of like snake eating it, and it's kind of like it's gross. Like the fish, there's one. It's like this fish, and he's like, it's wiggling,
still
and he's
wriggling,
and then he goes like.
Yeah, he just goes to town
first in this wiggling fish that he's struggling to hold in two arms. And like,
you hear it's like squishy.
Oh my God.
You hear, you hear, it's a lot of wet mouth sounds. Who likes?
God,
that wasn't a
you
request.
Were saying,
we just lost
wasn't
all
a
of our
request for
subscribers.
But man, but you're right. It's cool, and I love the idea. And yeah, you can use like when you have the leeches, you can use your cigar to burn them off.
Yes, and the little clips for that too.
Right.
Those are fun.
I love that stuff. Is super fun, and I do know that. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say your whole loading out your pack scenario. This is kind of the reason behind my quote-unquote survivalist play. I decided for the first time ever that I wasn't going to pick up any food unless I intended on eating it like here pretty soon. And that's what led me to this whole snake's stomach is grumbling so loudly that guards can hear him, because it was too little too late. By the time I got here, I didn't have any food to pick up or acquire. And I don't know, I think it's fun to load yourself up with a bunch of stuff to eat. I also think it's fun that if you hold it there too long, the game will allow it to rot.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And also, like I ended up with a shit ton of alligator for some reason that is totally not related to
some grenade usage, maybe.
Yeah. But if you eat a lot of the same thing back to back, it becomes less effective in restoring.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great,
Yes.
I forgot about that, but that's absolutely true, and it's such
Snake's
so true.
a picky eater.
Yeah, man.
Which is why I was so surprised to hear him. Well, I guess not, because I did just get done talking about the fact that his stomach was actually grumbling loud enough to catch attention. But at that point, he thought a rat that you just freshly catch, like underneath or inside the food storage place, he just ate that right away, and his little vocal response was, "Not bad."
Gotta love not bad.
Yeah.
Food is fuel.
It's an enthusiastic not bad too. Like, of all the particular little criticism he gives on these, like, disgusting.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, a rat was not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I take it.
If you start out with a gator and he's like, that was tasty. But then after a while, he's like, it's all right.
Or, what can I say?
Yeah, that. Man, I just love like the attention to detail in this game. That's the thing that makes it real special to me.
It's worthwhile.
Sure.
It's worth several playthroughs just to unlock all of that stuff you might not have seen on one playthrough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this game does a good job too, because a lot of times you could play a game where clearly they mapped out like the first 5 hours of the game, and it feels so fresh and so like, man, I can't wait till this opens up, and then you realize that's just the whole game. This doesn't really do that. Like as we keep going, we're actually going to talk about probably better stuff.
Oh yeah.
Than what we're currently
Areas
doing.
Get bigger.
Bigger. They include
More
like
trappy.
Yeah, way more trappy.
Yeah.
And did you guys use the thermal goggles? You could you could sneak and get some claymores.
Yeah.
Did anybody get
Yes.
caught by any traps or anything?
No, not by this point, Warren. Come on.
I'm just curious.
Chris?
So
Chris is like, wait a minute.
there's
Stop the clock, please.
what is it in the Bolshaya past the first
South?
Bolshaya South. One of the guards was chasing me, and I ran through a tree, and I realized I tripped a tripwire, and I did a quick roll, and it looked cool because the guard got hit by the trap.
Yes.
And it sent him flying, but it was like I totally did not intend that to happen that
Hey, man.
way. But it
That's
turned
awesome.
out way
That's
cool.
yours. That's yours, dude. Own
Yeah.
it.
The traps, I think, are so cool.
Yes. And they are pretty well hidden, too. If you know to look for them, you can find them. But
I do think it's kind of bullshit that you can see them all with your thermal goggles. Like,
Yes.
it's convenient and it's nice, but
Yeah.
come on.
Well,
What?
I would have thought it would have been cool if it, like, instead of the whole thing being red, thermal, if
Sure.
it had, like, just more, like, dusting of red, because obviously someone's hands had touched it to, like, lay the trap.
Sure.
So I get the story reason why.
Yeah.
But if it was not as, like, very obviously a trap is here.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty much white on the
Yeah.
screen, right?
Yeah.
They're bordering hot red to white.
Right.
And I don't think that makes sense. But if you
Chemically speaking, they're white hot.
yeah, like you're
Right.
saying, Warren,
Which
if
is
you could
crazy.
just see a trace of them, maybe a little bit of green or orange.
Yeah, extra
Versus-
footprints, like walking around it, maybe
Sure.
something like that. Like that could
Which
have
they
been.
don't start to get into
know.
until Metal Gear Solid 4, but
Yeah.
I think a lot about what this game would be like if they remade it. Right?
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
posted in our Discord some video on YouTube I found of some guy that was like, here is Metal Gear Solid 3 in the Fox engine. I don't know how real this is, but it looked so cool.
It looks incredible.
I want to
God,
play that
looks
game
And
so
I
bad.
think about like things like this, the traps, like what would that would be like in a modern game, and how they would navigate that kind of space. And I really wish that they made more games like this that were like pretty linear in its narrative and like the actual map, the world, not an open world game, but a very dense game that offers you a variety. And the only other games that I can think of like this are like Deus Ex Machina.
Sure.
I think is similar because the environments are small, but they're linear and you can approach them in a multitude of ways.
Sure. Definitely. Yeah, it's a very rare breed, but there's a reason why we still talk about those games.
Hell yeah.
Because
yeah, for sure.
usually if you can do that, you do it very well. And that's what makes this game so special. I love it.
No.
So we're past the traps. Sorry for bothering you, Tori, about the traps. And
What? No, I'm happy to talk about the traps.
So we now get to the crevice.
Yes.
We're getting ready to do our thing. We're going to sneak past. We're on our way to the lab, and we get stopped by our boy.
He's back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a really good one, too.
He's back, baby.
I feel like everybody had to get in on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We all have to do it.
He's got some new action too now, right?
Oh, yeah.
You mean with his hand gestures?
The single
whole-
action army.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like he's in the show Cats.
Yeah.
He's, at least for that moment, he's
He's doing,
channeling
like-
his inner Mr. Mistopheles.
He's almost doing a sun salutation yoga pose.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This is such a wild part of the game too, because it's so different. Like you're playing the stealth game, right? And everything's pretty immersive. And the only boss encounter we've had so far with the guards is like very similar to the gameplay style of the rest of the game. But this is like some sort of rail shooter thing.
This is almost just like the Ocelot battle in the first installment of the series. Well, okay, the first PlayStation installment of the series.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Wow,
It is, yeah, 'cause
indeed.
you never,
That's right.
like-
Profound.
You're always like across each other, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
you can never be just like right next to each other. You have to compromise on your visuals. You can't always see where you're trying to aim.
That's true. I threw in that I absolutely love the Western, like literal Western influence. I
Young
just
Ocelot,
love,
man.
Oh man, you hear he's got spurs. It feels like you can hear him walking, and it's got like that sweet little like just like real reverby guitar for no reason.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best.
It's so good, and yeah, it's another style boss fight that's going to be very special compared to all the other boss fights. You're not going to do the same type of fight twice, really, in this game. Yeah,
Right.
you still shoot an enemy, but they always force you to use something else in your toolbox. This particular thing just happens to be making sure you're very comfortable with, using a gun in first person, basically.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do it that way, but that's where the game's sort of guiding you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're going to need it in a future fight. Is
Right.
basically what they're doing. And it's so good. So how did we beat Ocelot? I'm kind of interested, because mine's pretty boring. So
Mine's boring too. I mean, I just shoot out the hornet's nest whenever he tries to hide, and then I take him out with the trank with carefully placed headshots to get the maximum amount of stamina knocked out of him.
nice.
Do you guys fuck him up while he's reloading?
Absolutely.
Always.
Oh yeah, dirty,
You got to get
dirty.
all the way to the right, and then you can see past the tree, and you can see him back there.
Oh,
doing it.
even when he's like, I don't know about you, I played on normal. Even on normal, he'll reload out in the open, which makes him a total dipshit. But I take advantage of it every time.
And I love the growth where now he's got 2 guns.
Oh hell
12
yeah!
shots, and I just love they kind of they're just dick measuring.
I see you've got yourself a single action army.
That's right. There'll be no accidents this time.
You call that an accident? Well, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been showing off.
What did you say?
It's a nice gun, I'll give you that. But the engraving gives you no tactical advantage whatsoever. Unless you were planning to auction it off as a collector's item.
Oh, you can't do this shit. Well,
Yeah.
what if I could? Yeah, well, you still can't, but I just doubled it.
Which makes
and it just
it-
keeps going. It's
Every
so
time
good.
they have this encounter while Eva's around too, I'm sorry to always bring this up, but every time they're having their pissing contests while Eva's
Yeah.
around, I love how she's just like, whatever, I'm a part of this too. Both of y'all are about to get fucked up right now. Just
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, divide by 0. We can dick measure all day. I don't need one. I got this.
I know
I
that's
agree.
not relevant here, but I just had to throw that in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ocelot says some kooky stuff.
He does, yes.
He's like, oh, I love the reload, the action. Oh,
but
God.
but we all know it's coming.
Yeah.
We all know it's coming.
We
He
all
has
know
to talk about, it's so thrilling than a clip. Like it's
So
always
much
more
more
thrilling.
thrilling.
We all
Yeah.
know somebody's coming.
It's even,
It's either Snake or Ocelot.
what a thrill.
But yeah, it's great. It's a great little boss fight. It's super fun, and yeah, it's cowboy style. I love it. I love. It's so cheesy, but man, it's still a boss fight, and it's still good. It's basically, it like harkens back to Olga from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes. Even more so.
Yeah, it feels like an Olga fight, and it's early, so that kind of makes sense the way they do it. But
Yeah.
It's so satisfying, though.
yeah, did you guys hide enough to where the boss, like his cronies, were like, "Oh, get him, boss," and they tried to shoot you or throw stuff out or anything like that? Because
I
they can.
used to.
If you
Yeah, they
hide,
can
they'll
interact.
do that.
They'll call you out. Yeah, he's over here.
You're right. Or if you do catch him while he's reloading, it's like you traitor, or what do they say? You cheater, or something
Yeah.
like that.
I love too when they'll fight back and Ocelot will hey,
He's mine.
yeah, he's mine. Don't get it. I'm like, okay, I feel you, Ocelot. I'm with
I
you.
wasn't able to trigger any of that through the last couple playthroughs I've done for the show, but back when I was a teenager, I got that all the time, I guess, because I was trying to be a filthy cheater.
Yeah, you're a Nancy boy. You were a Nancy boy. It's okay.
Yeah.
You hide in a corner until you win.
That's what a snake does, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and we can't kill him because if you kill him, we all know it's a time paradox.
Paradox.
So we win the boss fight, and a swarm of hornets are taking over the entire crevice. And we are introduced to our next Mega Man style boss.
Wait, can we, just before we go here, can we talk about the fact that for some reason, even though he just began, I need to know the timeline too, because I'm a little iffy on the timeline, but let's say within the last 12 hours, I think it's fair to say,
Sure.
he's acquired 2 new revolvers that have more tactical advantage than collector's item value. And he somehow knows to swing them all around and do his nifty little hand tricks.
Definitely.
And to kill the hornets, to keep them from coming to him. How did he gain this skill in a matter of, to be generous, 12 hours?
Well, I think he was always a good shot, right? Among his peers, he was always a good shot with just pistols. And then Snake is like, oh, you want to be a boss, you know? This is like, he's not just a soldier. He's trying to become like a boss type character, where he has some significance, and he just doesn't have the skill for that, because even Snake, who's the green guy here in this situation, can kick Ocelot's ass and make fun of him, right? Because Ocelot's really just a young kid, you know. He would be in his 20s right now.
Yeah, I still also think that, like, at least like first couple gameplay experiences, I just honestly thought like Ocelot is that guy that we already established you can get like a Chinese imitation of a Mauser pistol and this crazy new weapon. So like whatever armor storage they have whatever they need in their armory. And he's that guy that would just like stand in front of a mirror with every gun and be like, this one looks the coolest. Get a little something of that. Like he's that guy, and like just practicing just everything. I just always thought he was that guy. And especially handguns, because it's a lot easier. Not that if you're good with one handgun, you're good with every one. But it's one thing to be like a rifleman or a sniper, like where it's you can sort of like take care of yourself and get good at handguns. Like I just took it as he was that guy that just he's had his hands on every single gun, picked his favorite one, got made to look a fool, grabbed another one and was like, shit, I'm still an idiot, and then just was like, you know what, now I'm going for broke. I'm a full, Dirty Harry.
They must have some like armory of weapons, because it's the same with like where Snake got that gun that he drooled over.
It's exactly it's the same one.
I snagged it from this catch of weapons we have in our armory. So he's probably got this pick.
And I guess it would be pretty, pretty sizable. And they say that it's vast countries.
Where are they getting all these American weapons at in Russia?
That's a good question. I don't know the boss.
The virtuous mission is where I think they got them.
One more thing before we move on.
I
just want to acknowledge that I think it's great that we have this this trickle down system of the boss just fucking shit up for Snake, and Snake then turning and fucking shit up for Ocelot. Both of them having this "you ain't shit" mentality, and Snake and Ocelot respectively are just like, oh.
Yeah. But it does. It shows Snake's confidence in the stuff he does know. And like it does make me start to be like, okay, this guy is a badass. It's just I'm getting better at the game.
This panty waist does know what he's doing.
Exactly. And I never smoke the cigar unless there's a leech. Because I have respect and decorum.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, all right, Hornets taking over. Everybody is going to town. Ocelot looks cool as shit. I do think it sounds awesome. I love the noise it makes and hearing them all get hit. Like and you just see them like just littered the floor.
It's really cool the way this scene is done.
It's super cinematic. And of course, Snake doesn't have 3 handguns to spin around and kill anything, nor does he have bug spray. So you jump into the crevice, down into the caves, because it's the only way you're going to get away from these hornets. And I believe, does Ocelot say, like, he's here? So, like, he got caught messing around, like, trying to mess with Snake. I think Ocelot says, like, oh, he found us. So it's, like, now he knows, like, the boss is on to, like, what's going on.
The pain?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so when the pain comes in, he says it. So it's just like, well, maybe Ocelot's kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah, because as far as Ocelot's concerned, Snake is mine.
Yeah.
Right. It's interesting where it's just like, so how many layers are there to, like, I understand that Ocelot wants to kill you, I guess, but he's had so many times to do it And yeah,
Well, that's
he
the
he had that
thing.
gun jam issue where he would have killed you right there.
I'm not
But
sure he
now-
wants to kill him.
I
And
think he's
know-
like toying with you now. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I know it takes a while to transform into that because by the end you're certain that that's not Ocelot's motive. But I think, and my goal through playing this game this time for the show is to find out where that line is. When does he turn from being an enemy into just kind of being in awe of this guy and kind of wanting to be around him?
I'm going to look for that now as we go. I always felt like he was anti-Vulcan
Right.
from the Virtuous mission because
Definitely.
of the nuclear missile where he's like, that's our comrades. So I understand that he's an enemy of an enemy sort of a situation. But other than knowing he's in future games because of just playing previous ones, I'm that's something I'm going to look for now though, where that is. Because I really feel like it's there. And I just don't pay attention. I think it's there though. I think
At some point during this game, it changes from you're my enemy or you are my opposition to, I don't really care what your role is. I have respect for you.
right. Yeah. It's like real respect's real,
Yeah.
That's how it feels. So, all right.
So anyway, cave time.
We land in the caves.
Dun, 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 dun. Caving.
Okay. Who likes these caves?
I love these caves, man.
Do you? Okay.
I do. I can't say that I always did, but I've grown an appreciation for them.
The caves are okay. It's really just the water level, okay?
They're bigger than I remember.
It's the water temple.
Yeah, Water Temple from Zelda.
Yeah, this is...
It is. It's bigger than I remember, though. For some reason, I thought it was like
God,
3
yeah.
rooms. There's
That's
a lot
interesting
of space.
because when I first played, I always thought it was a lot bigger. And the more I've played it, the more it's kind of been, okay, well, here's this section, here's this section, here's this section. And I know everything that I mean to check off along the way.
Right. Yeah, so you pick up your animals, camo, since we all tranked them, and you have a couple options. I know, like, the famous Easter eggy one is you can just hang out and Snake's eyes will adjust in gameplay, which
Yeah.
is really cool. I've never waited
that
that
takes
long.
too long.
It takes a very long time. But
it
it's,
takes 5 minutes.
It's too long.
I just-
Chris.
however,
instant gratification. I want it now.
I do start to notice it as I keep, like, when you start going through, though, and you start to see more of it naturally, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I do
It
like
is.
that.
The
And
5
that's
minutes
usually what I
counts,
rely
like,
on.
while you're in menus, too. So,
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought it was, like, just in gameplay.
It's
That's
kind
good
of
to
a
know.
natural pause point of like, oh, well, I got to take this time. I should heal up. I should eat some food. I should change out my
Sure.
stuff. Pick up that new camo.
So, question. If you decide to save the game and quit playing for a while,
Yeah.
if you fire it back up, assuming it's at least 5 minutes later, will Snake's eyes be adjusted?
I think so.
I would
Okay.
argue no, because doesn't paramedics say when you save, you're sleeping? So when you open your eyes,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like you just
that's
freshly
right.
opened your
That's
eyes.
a good point.
That's
Yeah, so I-
correct. You are correct, Warren. You have to have the game open and you have to be in the caves for 5
I have
minutes.
to log 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
in the caves.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Paramedic
Okay.
tells us, she tells us everything. Gotta love that Fox unit. So did anybody have anything special? We all know you can get like the night vision goggles in here.
Mm-hmm.
I usually always get them just because it's fun, but I don't ever really
You can get a
use them. And they're
shotgun
not,
in here too.
yeah.
Yes, you can.
get
The
oh my God.
M37.
And does anybody use a shotgun in these games? For
so
real?
for one of my files, yes, because it is very effective against the Pain's natural armor that he calls to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. If you can run up on him and gun that armor down, it goes out in like one shot. And then
Yeah,
you can
and then
Wow.
you can
then you can do
switch
whatever
to
you
whatever
want.
weapon. Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
something
So
cool.
this is why I always pick them up, because I can usually find a use for them other than I'm gonna kill you with this.
Sure.
yeah.
Like with
And
the
that's, yeah.
with the AK, I just like to blow up barrels. That's just fun for me.
Oh, yeah.
Or if I need to kill Croc, AK-47 is the quickest way. I don't
Right.
like to hear them suffer, you guys. I want to put them out of their misery real quick.
Crocs feel pain too. It's cool. It's cool.
But yeah, that's my main use for the M37 is just breaking down the Pain's barrier.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the torch. I used the torch this time.
Yes,
It
same.
really is super helpful. I didn't realize how effective it was. I was surprised, though. I really was expecting, because this game would have done it. You walk under a waterfall, your torch stays lit. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that. I was waiting for it to be like, oh, well, obviously I have to put my torch away or it's going to go out anyway. So,
because it goes out when you're in a body of water.
Yeah, when you swim or something like that. But if you run into one of the 2 random waterfalls you can find, it won't go out.
Interesting.
It's okay that it doesn't. I was kind of like, oh, I'll just do this real quick so I can talk about it. And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. But yeah, so it's just not really a maze. A couple of, you got to find the right way to get over top of another area to move around.
I'm going to just say swimming sucks, though.
Swimming is not very fun. And yeah, all I do is just spam, blah, 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 just to get the fuck out of there. There's no way to survive.
The whole point of swimming is to get over it. Like,
or
under
basically. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. But yeah,
someone's
it's not
a bottom.
Fun. Yes. You switch it up sometimes. You got to keep it fresh,
Since we already brought it up.
But yeah, and I do know that, so you can grab the Russian glow caps. If you pick them up, you need battery. You can use those, eat them. They recharge your battery.
Those are super important.
Zero will chime in. Yeah, they're super
and
helpful.
You guys have to be taking at least 2, if not 3, Kenyan mangrove crabs out of here. By the time you leave the cave, are you not taking at least 1 or 2 of these guys?
Yeah.
I took at least one.
Snake
Because you see them. You walk right
them.
by them. Yeah, you walk right by them. There's so many. It's
They're
like,
the
why wouldn't you?
tastiest thing he will ever eat.
I want some more.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of few times you get that message.
That's awesome.
Other than that, I just want to say every time I picked up the torch, I was real quick to put it out again because I've been trained by Zelda games that if you
It'll go out, right?
Yeah, if you don't put it out right away.
I thought so too. I was like, I couldn't believe that it just it is going to be a perfect torch until you don't want it to be a torch anymore.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
Because
you can swing with it.
That would be such a Kojima thing to do, right?
Yeah,
give you a
screw you
torch
over.
and then tell you, oh, but you have only got 30 seconds of use here.
Right. Or at least there's something else you have to find a new one or dry it off. I figured there would have been something in there.
Right.
But the caves are annoying enough, so I'm happy they didn't go too wild.
I guess if you say so, you just got to know how to navigate them.
For sure.
I'm trying not to use the guides that I have. I'm trying to be as raw as I can. And then on the second playthrough, then I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Let's open this bad boy up. I'll find a thing here, find a thing there. But
that
yeah,
was
you can
my
find every playthrough.
Yeah, well, every Metal Gear experience. Like I would watch my brother Chase play through it first. I'd try it myself with Chase's help, and then I'd explore more and be like, oh no, I can fucking do this. Nice. No big deal.
So we get through, and we get to a body of water with a big old rock in the middle with a couple of tiny little rocks off to the side. And we meet the Pain.
I am the Pain.
The Mega Man villain.
The Pain. Wait.
Pain.
Oh, that's so good. Ooh,
that was
do
really
it again.
Good.
He's the Pain.
Yeah.
He's just so... He just Mighty Morphin Power Ranger moves and does poses. He's just...
His
who
kung
is
fu
this guy?
Karate moves are
yeah.
it exhausts me to watch him make these moves.
God.
And as the boss fight happens, he'll do his little orchestral dance. He'll just kind of do this. I guess he's conducting the bees.
It's
I guess.
cute
I don't know.
because he's a chubby little bald dude.
Yeah.
He's what is the Fantastic Four character?
The Thing.
The Thing?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally.
He's got
Thing.
that. I mean, he's not made of rock. He's just got terrible complexion.
Yeah, well,
due to
he may as well
bee
be.
venom.
Same kind of idea. He's got armor too.
Right.
Like the Thing.
He's got bee armor.
Bee armor
on
instead
top of
rocks.
his regular ass armor.
His nasty skin.
On top of nasty skin armor. You're right. This guy is just fine. He's gonna be okay.
So how did this boss fight go for everybody? Was it kind of a pain in the ass? Did you kind of figure out the loop?
This guy is a cheese lord.
Right? He is kind of... By the time you get 50% through his health, he has the bullet bees, and you get that gross thing where he opens up and spits them out of his mouth.
Yeah.
It looks cool as shit with the red, they're all flying around so you know exactly where they are, but you can just swim to kind of get away from them. But it is... Did anybody get hit by a bullet bee?
Yeah, they still fucked with my day a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to hit him with the trank. You know?
Oh,
The
yeah,
bullet
definitely.
bees?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the pain?
You really tried to hit the bullet bees with the trank
Yeah.
gun?
You can
That's-
try to shoot him down. I know that.
Can you get them? Can you, like, acquire them?
No.
Or do they just, like, disappear because you drank them?
Yeah.
The only thing I
That would have been
managed
incredible.
to shoot
That's a
down
keepsake.
are the grenades that he would send over,
Yes.
and those ones moved slow-ish.
Yes.
It's great to use the shotgun on those.
Yeah,
they'll
well,
just
Yeah, because you get the
explode
spray, right?
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Anything
It's
bee
true.
related, I was using shotgun on.
I use smoke grenades on his armor, and then I would like just go to town with the trank gun.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I used a lot of smoke grenades myself.
I would swim. I would hide till he couldn't find me. Where are you? And then I would throw myself a little smoke grenade, and then just shoot him as many times as I can until he started doing his little dance again. But yeah, he's very Glass Joe. He's super cheese lord.
He is.
He is the most basic of like, look, we got some weirdos later in this game that you're gonna fight, and just be prepared for this.
This is the least of the weird,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
For sure.
Did either of you guys find duplicates of him? Did you, I guess, trigger that in your gameplay at all?
He can duplicate himself. I did in playthrough 1, not playthrough 2.
Okay.
I guess I would just be quicker on the draw to stop him. But he definitely has like a mime mechanic, which is
Right.
really annoying.
And sometimes he sends out 2 duplicates, and you have to try and figure out which one is the real him. So that's when I would usually just bring out the AK and just like spray.
It works.
Yeah.
I love how like each boss in the game has an arena and
Yes.
phases. It's very old video gamey.
Right?
Yeah, it's a board.
Yeah.
It's, again, I hate to keep drawing this comparison, or do I?
Oh.
But it's kind of like Zelda. It's kind of like Zelda bosses once you figure out their pattern.
The puzzle.
Because even the pain, once you get halfway through his life, like you said, Warren, you'll trigger a little cutscene, and then you have to figure out a new pattern for him, just like in
Right.
Zelda.
Yeah, I treat this like 3D Mega Man. Like you get to his little, you open the little door, you get in, you're in his little arena, and you basically got to figure out to use what you have to stop him from doing the things he does.
Right.
And he also looks like a Mega Man villain,
yeah.
like a maverick. He really does. Like I don't know how there wasn't a B man already. If I am speaking out of turn,
I think there
don't think there
be. There's Woodman.
there is Woodman.
There's Woodman.
That's Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
Dayman.
Oh, fighter at the night, man.
Champion of the sun. Love it. Well, at least we know we're all always Sunny fans.
Friendship for everyone.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, I'm glad to hear we're all fans. I thought I was just the only one because I live so close to Philadelphia.
Nah, man. It's got a pretty wide reach, I think.
It's awesome. It's a great show. All right, so we fuck up the pain. I'm over him already.
But
I do love his.
up.
I do love like how they do. I guess he's the first one you hear it where it's like they echo their name. Like when they die, it's like pain, 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 pain. It just keeps going. And I'm like, it's so good. It's gonna happen every time we kill a boss, and it's just such a. It's style. It's just like an added little flavor that you don't need. But it just, I don't know, it makes it so much more rewarding.
It is fun.
When you win. It's just like, fuck yeah, fuck that guy.
It's like, this tape will self-destruct.
Basically, it's just flair. It's sizzle. It's all sizzle.
Yeah. It's like some John Carpenter type stuff. Or I don't know. It feels like something from an 80s B-flick action movie.
Yep. And it is. I mean, that's basically what we're playing.
Right.
70s, though.
Yeah. 60s.
60s, that's right. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Or even worse.
know
Even
history.
less budgets.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys all tranked him as far as getting rid of him? Did you solve the
yeah.
little puzzle on how to get his little thing? You had to find the right run up so you could jump over.
Yeah.
The jump mechanic isn't great.
It's like
in
a
this
roll.
game.
You just...
Yeah, you do like a Dark Souls thing where you run, hit the roll button, and you hopefully have enough forward momentum to get where you need to
like
get.
launch yourself. And if you do it right, it's pretty like cinematic looking, but
Oh yeah.
you know.
I've never done this, and fortunately, where I stopped at this little chunk for the recording is right after beating him, so now I know to do that.
Nice.
Good. Yeah.
So you get your stuff, and we you head right out on the next area. We have like 1 or 2 more paths to go up. You can find like a little weapons cache, but you have to make sure there are some claymores there.
Dear.
There's mines there.
No,
So
somebody had to carry this on.
So you
That
get
one's
through,
for you, Sam.
and we get out into the open water, and we see some levitating things. But unfortunately, that is where our episode will end as far as story.
Yeah.
Aw.
We will have to find out what's on those levitating platforms
Yes.
next time.
I hope it's puppies.
So, yeah,
Actually,
this-
no, I don't, considering
yeah.
how things go.
Right, yeah. You don't want to... Oh, my God.
Sorry. That was dark.
So yeah, that wraps up another episode of Metal Gear Mondays Revengeance. As far as like some fun stuff, we'll chat out before we let it rip. But wherever you guys listen to us, please give us a like and a subscribe. It would be awesome, whether you're an Apple person or a Stitcher. But if you can rate and review us, that would be incredible. It goes a very long way as far as algorithms go. If you want to talk to past and present hosts, you can find their socials on MetalGearMondays.com. You can go to Instagram and Facebook at Metal Gear Mondays. Hit us up at Twitter at Metal Gear Monday. I love the character limit. You can get sweet-ass merch at bit.ly/MGM store. Personally, I like the pillow that says, "It's just a box."
There's a pillow there now. Shit.
Yeah, it's dope. And I'm going to shout out the patrons. Again, the Patreon itself. For as low as $1, you can get part of our Discord. We do other podcasts. We do extra content that we give out to everybody. And I don't want to speak for anybody here, but I do think like the Discord is a great way to talk to past and previous hosts. If you want to just get our feelings on stuff, we're definitely talking all kinds of stuff. We're doing Ghost of Tsushima right now. I love that some of our patrons are watching Samurai Cinema. Thank God they are, because that is a missed genre.
Oh, yeah.
And it needs to be watched more. So, how do we feel, guys, about our little spot? How do we like our little story bit? Feel good about it?
I feel good. We end off in a good place. You have some nice little like Kodak conversations with Major Zero afterwards, and you can call in and talk about your armor and stuff. We will probably not go into too much detail about Kodak conversations. I don't know.
Oh no, because I have a couple that I wanted to bring up that just kind of tickle me. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Sure, bring them up.
Yeah.
Or did we have a dedicated episode for that? I can't remember.
Well, we do have a wrap-up episode
Okay,
that's going to
okay,
cover, in addition to that, Snake versus Monkey.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
good. We should absolutely discuss that.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I will just mark these as things to hold on to for later.
Yeah. The Kodak conversations are so good, and we definitely aren't going to skip over those, but it's difficult to keep in pace with the narrative sometimes.
Yeah, especially because some of them are
Sure.
meant as Easter eggs. That's the whole point of it, is to
Yeah.
just enjoy
Well,
more
not
of
only
the
that, but-
characters.
Some of them can be triggered at different times too, so you never know where you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Definitely. So, when it comes to the next episode, guys, you know what we're going to do next. However, if you're following along with our little programming here, our next episode is going to be a character-focused episode. Tori, do you want to let everybody know what the characters we're going to focus on?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'd love to. Hang on. Let me bring that up. Ever the prepared one. So next time we're going to focus on the Fox unit. That's all our supporting characters that we get to talk to during these codec calls. I can see why you brought it up at that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll include. That'll
so-
include. Oh, did somebody else want to get this?
Well, no,
Your turn,
just
Chris.
No,
Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
no, no,
I
no.
was-
Tori, you're doing a great job. Keep going.
Yes,
it.
great. Okay, cool, neat. Go me. Major Zero, Jack, or Naked Snake, Paramedic, and Sigint are all characters we will be discussing next time. I think we're going to delve into whatever information we can generally find during their codec calls, as well as what kind of support they bring to you, the player, or Jack, the character. What am I missing, Chris?
We'll touch on Kodak conversations. I think we're going to just cover the characters up to this game and not carry on because, you know, Major Zero, Jack, Paramedic, Sigint, all these people go on to just fuck some shit up.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we're not going to
Royally.
We're going to be hearing from them a lot.
we're not going to get into that, but we are going to talk about how they're friends for now.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And do we have anything else we want to bring up just before we let her rip, y'all? Everybody feeling good?
I feel great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so fine.
Nice. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again so much for listening to another episode of Metal Gear Mondays Revengeance. We'll see you on the next one. Other than that, I think it's time to let her rip, Jack.